My name is John Hamill and I operate Hamill Farms and grew the barley that was used to make this beer.
So I'm Mike Dolman. I'm the malting manager here in Calgary.
This is my brother Joe Hamill, Shed Malting. He does everything. So he's here full time and he does the malting, the roasting, packaging, everything.
And this is my brother Matt Hamill. He does all the sales and connections with the brewers for Shed Malting.
We're at Last Best, and I am the head brewer here at Last Best Brewing and Distilling in Calgary. We're here to talk about the Bock Chain beer, which is actually, we kind of did a play on words, and it's called Bock Chain, which is kind of fun.
Our farm, it's going back to my dad and his two brothers, have been selling malt to Canada Malt for since we started growing malt barley, which would probably be back in the 40s or 50s. So it's been a long relationship with Canada Malt.
Canada Malting's been around in Calgary for over 100 years. Yeah, we're one of the larger maltsters in especially Alberta. We're one of two. The big point is we make a lot of base malts. Specialty products are also made here on site, and we send worldwide.
Started in the beer industry from home brewing my own beer at home. And then from there, we took it a step further and wanted to make our own malt using the barley we grow on the farm. And that led us into the malting industry.
I started on the consumer side. Dad was a farmer, so he had the other end of the supply chain. And then we just kind of got interested in all the stages in between.
Would I say I'm passionate about beer? Absolutely. Super passionate about beer. Beer is my life and my career, which is really cool. This beer it's a project that's like a labor of love. So it's been really fun working with some of the partners that we already work with and just bringing them together and really doing a true farm to glass beer.
So Hamill Farms, Penhold area farmers, grew the barley. We took delivery of it after the selection process, so it made sure that it made the proper parameters for malting barley. Once it was delivered here, it was regraded, made sure that it still made the malting parameters in terms of germination and quality attributes. From there, we steeped it into our D-house compartment. So D-house compartment, put it into germination, then to kilning back to the bin, waited for the lab analysis. From there, we segregated a truck full, sent it back to Shed Malting. From there, they continued to roast the product, and modify the product, and from there it went to Last Best.
So in creating this beer, we were able to use that malt barley from the farm, but to round it out and really give it color and aroma and flavor, we got some specialty malts in there as well. So we're using some amber malt, chocolate malt, and some Canada malt from Shed as well, which is a specialty malt of theirs, to really round out those beautiful bready and kind of toasty flavors that you're going to get in the beer while it's still being a crushable lager.
We have the ability to show consumers exactly which quarter section of land that their product is coming off of. And they can go drive by it if they want and see where their food's grown or their beer's grown.
I think this Bock Chain beer is just a great example of, taking traceability to an extreme level. Consumers are going to be able to watch the barley throughout the entire growing season, including the farmers out there taking the field off, and then follow along and see where it's been every minute since then. So the bin that it was stored on farm, when it went to Canada Malt, when Joe roasted it, and when it gets to the brewer.
One of the things that we're noticing is that consumers are engaging a little bit more with farmers, with maltsters, and with the brewers. We're getting some requests to do contract malting for some of the brewers who have gone out and built relationship with farmers, and then they want to have that farmer's barley malted and they want to make beer with that. I think that's really good to build those relationships. And I think that the consumers are starting to say, where's my beer coming from? Like, where did that barley get grown that's in my beer? So that's really exciting, and I think it's pretty exciting for the consumer too, to be able to, you know, have a look and say, hey, you know, that barley for that beer was grown 5 miles from my place. So
the one benefit of the job is you get to go out and you get to meet the people that make the product, you get to meet the people that grow the product, you get to meet the people that are part of the process throughout. So it's a lot more than just our site here in Calgary. It's everybody that's involved, from the producer to the truckers to the guys here at the plant that segregate it, to the guys that run the facility itself, to the people in the lab, to the sales staff that make sure the product gets to the right home in the breweries. And of course, the best part is yeah, you get to enjoy that frothy beer in the end. So
we have an industry out there that is super passionate about making great beer, and they are really good at it. They're putting all kinds of flavors into the beer, which are really good. And they just not only want to put flavors into the beer, they want all these flavors and everything to balance to give you a really good tasting product. And they are very successful at it, and I think that's why the craft beer industry is growing.
A lot of people don't realize when they come into a pub or a brewery like Last Best and they order a beer, and what gets put in front of you, there's so much that goes into it with all these different partners all the way back to the farm. It's a really cool idea that we get to play with this and really tell you where that beer is coming from and that Alberta grown story, which is really important here at Last Best Brewing and Distilling.